The more Mao airs his feelings and fears about Micronesia, the clearer it becomes why it's so important to him for the Hawaiian voyagers to work together as one, to help preserve the culture and the navigation taught to him by his grandfather. It was on Hokule'a in the mid 70s that Mao first brought his navigational skills.
Being born and raised in Hawaii, there were no navigators. There was nothing to relate to. It wasn't really decided and taught in the schools that the Polynesians indeed do what they did. Just like in the past, and they never brought it up. It was never part of any curriculum, or it wasn't part of any kind of inspiration or pride. So our generation, in that time in Mauking, we're still kind of in that mode. We always wondered like how our ancestors were and how they did things. And then when Mao showed up, he was the living ancestor. He knew everything. We learned everything about our own selves through him. And around that time, that's when I think everything started changing to where there was all of a sudden there is some interest in our culture, and this people start feeling this pride, and that's why around that time few people were really interested in Hokule'a because of the cultural resurgence.
In Hana, Mao sits for a rare interview about Hokule'a's historic first voyage to Tahiti in 1976, the voyage he navigated and on which he first showed the Hawaiians the ancient ways.
My dad, Sam Kalai, has sailed with Hokule'a in 76 going to Tahiti, and Mao and my dad are very close. Okay, what we're going to talk about is on your journey in 76, what kind of food you guys had on the Hokule'a? You guys had coconut, right?
Yeah,
To eat, right?
yeah, coconut.
Coconut,
Fish, dry fish,
fish,
Breadfruit.
taro. And they make meat and tapos. We don't use the American food, like rice, canned meat. They want local food.
oh, Polynesian
Yes,
ways,
yeah.
like coconut,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
When you guys got stuck in the doldrum for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. 2 weeks.
And what did you guys do in the doldrum?
Nothing. Nothing. That's why they jump.
Everybody was all right, or everybody went crazy?
No. Everybody all right.
Everybody all right?
So they jump in the water, they go
They go
swim.
swim. And the shark come?
Yeah, because they scrap outside the canoe.
Oh, the
Or the
bunny.
bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you guys don't do that. When you do that, later on, the sorry come. Sorry, come on. Everybody.
Out of the water.
Yeah.
On 1976 voyage, we spent 30, how many days, Mom? 30 days, 31 days, yeah?
31.
31. Out of 31 days, maybe he slept. He never slept. He stayed. Well, you don't sleep, huh?
No.
He would sleep. Maybe he would kidnap after 3 or 4 days. He would kidnap for maybe half an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe. I later realized that's what a navigator is. You cannot rest. You cannot sleep. You cannot jeopardize the responsibility.
You know, and when somebody gonna sleeping, you maybe taking they sleeping on the land. When you're sleeping too much, you don't think about the direction. You miss the island. Maybe you're gonna die.
Papa, how do you train yourself to stay awake like that?
You know, I'm six or seven. Then my grandfather told me, when you try that, you don't think about sleeping. No, what you do when you wake up is you go wrong way.
So from outside, you look into Tahiti, you see all these people there when you guys arrive in Tahiti?
Oh, yeah. When we go inside, I look inside the harbor, on the beach, in the water, on the tree,
In the roof.
in the roof.
And everybody celebrating Mao.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrate Mao and his navigation.
But it's more than a navigator.
More than,
He teaches us how to land,
yeah.
how to sail. He comes down to the Snug Harbor and stays with us there. He doesn't go away, he stays with us. And we get to know him and we get to trust him. And so he tells us he can take us to Tahiti and we believe him. system.
You arrived in Hawaii, never been in Hawaii, never been to Tahiti, but was ready to take the Hawaiian canoe. There was nobody really on board to help him. He was by himself.
How long did you prepare for the sail?
75 to 76. When I come to Hawaii first, 1973, I'm not coming here for teaching or share about the culture and navigation. When I come here with Mike McCoy, the time when he come peaceful environment, then they meet him and my niece. The time for he married my niece. Then he told me, I want to take you to Hawaii. When I go to vacation, then you come with me.
I've been living on Sarawal, and I was in a Peace Corps there, and I knew him there, of course, and did a lot of sailing with him. We went on several trips to Poguela, which is West Faiu, to catch turtles and bring them back to the island. And Piailug had worked with me on a project I had, a marine resources project, tagging turtle. So when I left, I asked him if he wanted to come with me.
Scientists in Swaziland, they start make meeting about the Hokule'a. And then Mike Mogo picked me to the meeting.
I wrote a couple of articles about traditional navigation, Sarawalese navigation, and I've been in touch with Ben Finney, who was teaching anthropology at that time. At that time was the planning phases, I take it, of what ended up being the Polynesian Voyaging Society. These guys wanted to start to create a renaissance in Polynesian navigation and Hawaiian sailing.
The time for the as who's the navigator, they taken from Hawaii to Tahiti.
Herb Kane was there, and Tommy Holmes, and maybe one or two others, and Ben, but I didn't know these people at the time.
And then they asked Mike, you think who? Mike said, the guy stay with us tonight.
It wasn't necessarily sailing the thing or navigating the canoe or building the canoe or anything else. It was just, we'd like to talk to somebody. We'd like to be able to, to learn a little bit firsthand from someone, and we're thinking about bringing this guy from Puluat. And I said, well, why do that? Here's Piailug. Here's a navigator and a canoe builder. I made that point. This is not just a guy that knows navigation. He's a master canoe builder already. He builds canoes.
75. They call me, they pay me. Come back to Honolulu. And I come help them for build the Hokule'a.
That's how we get to meet each other, by putting a canoe together. The canoe is and was that bring people together, all kinds of people. You build them, you sell them. Feel like a Hawaiian when you sell one canoe on Hawaiian canoes, because it's part of our heritage. Meeting Mao. From the first time I met him to now, seems like I just would meet him. Because every time you meet him, it's an experience. You learn something by watching him and trying to listen what he's saying. So that's it. Open your ears, open your eyes, and shut up.
But I told Ben, I said, one of the things about Piailug, aside from the fact he has been a little bit to school and he's been here for 6 months and his English is, getting better and better, and is that this guy, even more than the navigators on Sarawal, is that his mind is always moving. His brain is always going. The wheels are always turning. You could roll out a navigational chart, and you could show, here's Hawaii, here's Tahiti, here's the compass rose, here's everything, and then here's, and he could put it all together. He could put together, the concept, the westernized version, the Sarawalese or the Carolinian methodology of how they do it, and come up with a winning combination. And I didn't know any other navigator. There's some great guys. There's some wonderful guys on Sarawal. Some navigators that had much greater reputations than Piailug at the time I was there. A couple of older guys that I knew, and I'd sail with them too, went on trips with them. But none of them had this, this combination of factors. But this guy had the whole package. This guy was different. He was really special.
After a month at sea, Mao made landfall using only the stars and swells and the sun, proving the ancient Polynesians were once master voyagers, and inspiring all the Polynesian islands to reclaim their culture.